Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Habs Tonight Postgame Show. We've got a fresh face on the Postgame Show, ladies and gentlemen. You may have seen him on the show before. Adrian, welcome to the show, my man. Welcome to the
Thank
team.
you. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be doing this with you, Drew. I used to call into the show a lot in the spring, and very happy to be part of the team now. So yeah, very very happy to be here. Very humbled.
Very
Be here.
natural fit, buddy. You
Thank you.
were destined, I think, to
Thank
be
you
part
so
of the team.
much. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be doing this with you guys. It's been a fun ride, even though it started last week. So I'm very happy to be here.
Happy to have you, man. Thank you so much for jumping on. And
thank you.
Tough game tonight, but I'm the first positive I was focusing on was this is your first show, so I was like, let's focus on that first. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough game though, but I mean, there are some positives to take out of this. I wanted to say first, Montembeault's had a great weekend, coming into last night's game, and kind of holding up the fort for Jake Allen. And he played great, made some big saves when he had to. It was unfortunate what happened in the overtime, but a great game. Even tonight, made some big saves on a couple of breakaways, and had a lot of penalties. He was obviously with the penalty kill going on. So I would say that's a big positive from this game. I find Romanov also had a very strong game as well.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of positives. I mean, it's hard, they're not giving much run support for the netminders, but maybe it's a work in progress. We'll see.
A lot of interesting takeaways from this game, and it sucks because the first period was like a work of art. The penalty kill was fantastic. Eventually, though, if you give Boston 3 or 4 chances, they're going to make you pay on one of them. And Charlie McAvoy, I was about to chirp him because he tried to hit Josh Anderson and he got the worst of it. Like Josh just tossed him into the boards like it was nothing. But it didn't matter because McAvoy had a heck of a game after that. He scored 2 goals and had himself a night. So
he sure did. I mean, their power play was starting to click. I found Boston near the end, like we were saying, that too much penalty trouble. And again, you can't give them too many chances because Marchand and McAvoy, those guys move the puck really well. So it's very unfortunate, but some more positives too. There was one thing I've noticed. Our record doesn't show for it, but there is a few little positives you can kind of take out of every game. I was like, again, Pezetta scoring his first NHL goal tonight. Fellow Toronto Italian boy, like me. So got to give him a shout out on the show. But
that was for Nick too. Nick was just like going crazy for that goal.
Yeah,
and, we had to take that positive from the game. Pez's first goal, the lettuce man himself.
Free the lettuce. I love that.
Free lettuce.
I love it.
I like it.
It's again. I've been I follow him on Instagram, and like all summer I was watching him like working out. Like every day there was like a workout video or him shooting pucks, and he really has worked his tail off to get where he is right now. Even just like 2 years ago, I didn't really know who he was. Like I saw him on the Laval roster and I didn't really know who he was. And seeing him work hard and, make a name for himself, it's pretty cool to see. And, a guy who obviously wasn't like a top pick, I think he was like in a 3rd or 4th round pick, and how he's worked hard to get to where he is. Brings a lot to the table too. So gotta have you gotta love it. You win with guys like that. So for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. Like he's been a breath of fresh air around the Canadiens, and I didn't even know he scored. I didn't even know it was his goal until the camera on RDS kept following him. He was smiling. I thought it was Josh Brook. I thought it was his goal, and it just like trickled in, but I didn't even see the tip, so I had to watch the replay for that. But man, yeah, Pez is. He's been looking better every game. They just get more comfortable, right? These new guys every game.
For sure. I'm even Ryan Paling's had a strong outing so far since being called back up.
Yeah,
obviously scored that big goal last night, and he's moving well. Oh God, yeah, that was a nice, nice goal. And He's looked great. Like he's moving well. He looks confident out there. I think obviously, he was had some struggling points in his career where, his confidence seemed a little bit down. But I'm happy to see him kind of come back and he's making an impact. And I've wanted to see him, make the team play full time with the team for a while now. So hopefully, make the most of his chance here, and hopefully they keep him at, because I know there's injuries piling up, but yeah, for sure. Hopefully we
It's a
can keep
long
him up
list.
full time. Oh yeah. Yeah. No Hoffman tonight too, which I saw
Yeah.
that before the game started. I was like, oh crap, that kind of sucks. But
That hurt us
yeah,
too.
yeah. He's been
And
playing good too. Yeah, I like the way
he's
he's
been playing very
oh
well. Yeah.
he
And
moves the
he's
puck really nice.
we didn't even get a power play tonight, I don't think, right?
No,
So
I think we had one power play from what I could remember.
was it the second period, early in the second?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
early
I
in the
missed the first
second.
part of the second. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was one power play. Yeah, there's a fact checker there.
Yeah,
But
there we go. Thank you.
there we go. Thanks. But yeah, again, they played like you said, Drew. They played such a pretty much flawless first period. They're again just lots of great puck moving, great transition game. Their penalty kill was looking like it was like an art, and
Yeah.
yeah, and it just sucks to see Monty not get the run support,
Yeah. He had a great
he
first period too. That's what frustrated me is
yeah,
that
absolutely.
he looks steady in the net. And then I mean ultimately the winning goal is an own goal by Jeff Petrie, who's had a
Yeah.
hard season, man. And this was just like I think you said it before we went on air, like that was just like in that play was just like the storybook of Jeff Petrie's season so far. And um we heard from his press conference, man. I don't know that he's taken much ownership for his play though. It seems like he's dispersing a bit of the blame everywhere. And I don't know, man. If you're a leader on this team and if you're having a tough go, like Nick Suzuki himself, he's a kid, I know, but like, is it just Petrie's too proud of a guy to admit that he's struggling?
I mean, I don't want to assume things, but it could be. I mean, usually he seems like the type of guy who's always been, very accountable. I've heard some people say on Twitter the reason why he's struggling, it's just opinions, but people think he's struggling because he has to kind of take over Weber's role. He's kind of like the alpha dog on defense now,
Yeah.
so it's hard, logging up those minutes. And I remember Dale said something about one of the clips about how he was struggling. It was like, it's a short off season too, and how this, the COVID pandemic's been hard on these guys' bodies, and the schedules have been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna turn it around. And again, they had a very short offseason as it was, obviously being in the Stanley Cup Finals, they realistically only had like a month and a bit of an offseason, right? So
Right.
it's hard to come in fresh and stuff like that. So
That's
I
good
just hope
news.
Drew, and
there.
yeah,
That's
that's
good news.
good. Yeah, we
Any
can
good
use him.
news? Just give us somebody
Trust
back
me.
from the freaking laundry list of players that are missing.
Oh, seriously, it's
Son of a
even Drouin's been playing before he hit the IR there. He was been playing fantastic
best
and
player on the team, I thought.
absolutely. Yeah. He's
I thought so,
just
yeah.
so how do you feel about Christian Dvorak tonight? I think he had one really good chance. He came off the left wing side there,
Oh,
almost buried it, just missed it by inches. Do you think he had a pretty good game tonight, Drew, or how do you feel?
yeah, I thought so. And that was almost that he almost scored there. And that goal that he almost scored reminded me of a goal that Tyler Ennis scored in Buffalo. You might have been there for that. We went to a lot of Buffalo games,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Do you remember that one that Ennis scored on Price? He leapt in the air and he fell and it was a
Oh
backhander.
God, yeah, that one
It
still
was
haunts me
just like
some
that,
days.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that Tyler Ennis is against the Habs there. Oh God,
Oh,
yeah,
like
I remember
that's a
watching that
Dvorak.
live.
Yeah, I know. I was behind Price for that goal. I was like, "Oh
Oh,
no,
you're
that was a
kidding.
gorgeous goal." Even Carey
Oh
admitted that was a nice goal. So it's a nice goal, and Carey Price tells you,
yeah,
"Yep, that was a pretty good goal."
for
So,
real. Yeah, for
but
real.
yeah, Dvorak was good tonight. I mean, I think he's one of those guys coming to a brand new team. He just needs more time, and I thought he looked okay. I mean, he had new line mates tonight. And what did you make of his line mates? I will say, was it Gallagher and Paling, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I
So
think it was them. Yeah, I mean, I think those are guys you want to put guys with him that have speed and
yeah,
and can, you got a good balance. You got Paling with speed, and you got Gallagher who, moves around the net pretty well, obviously in his
Yeah.
office, and I think it's a good
In his office.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was a good line there. I personally have liked him with Drouin and Anderson.
Yep.
I think that's where, I mean, in the preseason, I know it's preseason, but they looked like amazing. They looked dynamite together. So hopefully when Drew comes back and yeah, hopefully they could put them back together, maybe see what coach says. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think overall they played, you noticed them. That's the thing. Dvorak obviously I don't think he got any points tonight, but you noticed him on the ice. Paling to some of these guys, you noticed them, they were there. And yeah, no, I again, lots of positives to take out of this game. Just try to stay positive, guys. It's I think it's gonna get better. I hope it does.
I hope so too. And
Yeah.
Alfred's comment here, don't you guys have enough of the losing mentality already? Like, believe me, like our first reactions after the game aren't that positive, guys. Believe us. Like,
no.
I think what we're trying to do on this show specifically is try to channel probably what a player would do, and that's try to forget about it, move on, because you can't go backwards. You just can't, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of the few good things. That's what we just talked about there,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like it's just, you know what I found with Ryan Paling on that line, by the way, too. I wanted to point out he looked like a different player when he was with Brendan Gallagher and Dvorak. I felt like he just had more jump in the first period there. I just felt like Ryan Paling was ready to, like he just was like, okay, all right, this is my first time playing with top line players. And you could really tell by his body language and just the way, you know what I mean? Like one of those little things I noticed about him.
I agree. And I think you should, with young guys like that, you should at least try to, I know with like some rosters on some teams is different with like how their depth works, but with young guys like that, you want to try and put them with like, the top 6 guys. Cause I think that's how you develop them properly.
Yep.
And it's going to obviously help their numbers. Right. But putting them on like the 4th line is, I mean, it's not going to, it will do for them. Obviously they're getting ice time, but I mean, I think if you put them on the top 6, I think they'll perform better, maybe play with more confidence, like you said, because Pales was flying out there and, he looked pretty fired up and ready to go. So I think that's how they should do it, but hopefully they keep it together. But personally though, when it comes to line combinations and stuff like that, I don't think it's really good to shuffle lines all the time because it's hard to find chemistry, right? If you keep just shuffling the lines every practice and stuff like that. So we'll see, right? Obviously gotta let the coaching staff coach, right? So
yeah, options are limited, as we can see, because the infirmary is full for the Canadians. Like it's just it's crazy right now how many guys are banged up, and that's just kind of telling the story of the season too. It's just like what else can possibly go wrong for these guys, and that's why that Jeff Petrie goal, like banking it off, was it Coyle? I think it was Coyle that he banked it off and it goes in. It's just like, you got to be kidding me, right? Like it was 2-2, the game was tight, the Habs were playing good. Armia started the game with his first goal. Was that his first goal of the season? Like, I was like, okay, this is gonna be like Army needed that desperately. I've been picking him in my Tim Hortons hockey picks forever now, and he finally got one. So like,
nice.
Just one of those little things. I'm like, okay, that's a good positive. And the first period just couldn't have been better from the team. So, and then you get into the second period, and we go up 2-1 again. So you had a good feeling for most of the game, and then it just finally slipped away. And that's why it's frustrating as a fan, because Montembeault deserved a W tonight. I felt like, like what do we have to do to get this kid a win? He had 30-something saves before the game got out of hand, and I feel for the kid in that sense. And now Jake Allen going down, like you can't really. We were spoiled, right, Adrian? Like we were spoiled with this playoff run that we just went on. So and Armia was great in the penalty kill too. I want to point that out. The whole team was. Like, and you mentioned Romanov too, like Romanov. The consistency from that kid lately has been impressive, and I've been appreciative of it. I can tell you that much.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like you said, we were spoiled obviously with the run, and the thing is too, a lot of people have to realize too, it's a different roster with a lot of turnover from July.
A lot
And
of
a lot
turnover.
of whole lots, right? And a lot of these guys, they gotta have to adjust to a new system, and it takes time. Sometimes it takes some players a full season. Sometimes it takes a player 10 games. It could take half a season, right? Every player's different, right? So that's one
Yeah.
thing I try to remember too. And like I know a lot of people have been kind of hard on Christian Dvorak on Twitter and stuff, but that's another thing too. You got to remember he's coming from the Western Conference, completely different hockey over there too, right? You got to adjust to the Eastern Conference game style. And I personally, I still like the trade. I know that's not a very popular opinion, but I've seen him play and he's got so much potential. And again, looked very noticeable tonight. And I think again with the right line mates, he's going to be successful. So
He's the least of my worries right now. Like out of
yeah, for real.
the newer guys on the roster, at
Mhm.
least like I would say Mike Hoffman has probably been like you're not worried about him, but in terms
Oh no.
of what Christian Dvorak will become in the next 3 seasons, this is one of 4 that we
Mhm.
have him on contract for. So I'm not worried about him. I mean, without his regular line mates, Drew and Anderson, that line was dynamic, and
Yeah.
frankly, Drew was playing the best hockey we've seen in a long time. So just everything that could have, it's been Murphy's Law a little bit for this team, right? Like everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that's kind of how I feel about it. Like Paquette also down, Perreault down, Byron going to be coming back soon, Joel
Oh,
Edmondson,
right.
Carey Price, Shea Weber. Interesting take from my father-in-law tonight, Adrian. I'll share this with you
Yeah.
because
Sure.
we're in the Habs fan man cave tonight,
Awesome.
and we're talking about the Habs. And most people are just writing off Weber as he's retired, he's done. And he's like, I think he's coming back next year. And I was like,
Ooh,
really?
that's a
Well,
hot take.
I will take that. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So like, I know it's early to suggest something like that, but my gosh, like, do you think as the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, the caliber of player that Shea Weber is, that he's looking at the way the team's struggling right now, what they're going through, and he's like, gonna have to hang him up. I mean, like he might be forced to ultimately, but to me, if I'm Shea Weber, I'm too proud, and if I have an ounce of me that can play, he might play again next year. But anyway, that was just his
Mhm.
take tonight. So I thought that
I
was
like that.
interesting.
I like that. I mean, I'd love to see him come back. Personally, I know like they said it was like what, like wrist, ankle, and knee injuries, I think. Like that's
Combination of all, yeah.
yeah, and I could tell like a buddy of mine was saying to me too that like you could look at some of the clips where, I think there was a clip of when he and Thomas Nosek were kind of going at it in that third round last spring, and he could tell he wanted to fight him, but he couldn't because I guess he had nagging injuries. He was trying to play through it.
Yeah.
So I personally, I'd love to see him come back, but I think for his own health, I think he's going to be advised to not come back.
I had to laugh
Edgar
at this
Allan
comment.
Paling.
Edgar Allan Paling.
I love that.
Highlight of the night.
I love it.
Glaxo 2.
With the Atlanta Thrashers logo. I love
Yeah.
it.
That made my night right there. That was worth
That's
doing a post
amazing.
game right there.
That's
Edgar
awesome.
Allan Paling. Like
Thank you
Edgar
for
Allan,
that comment.
Edgar Allan Poe is a poet, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know
Yes.
who that is. That comment wins tonight. Thank you.
Absolutely a win tonight. Let's go.
We should send him a Habs Tonight hat for that, I think.
Ooh, I think we
So
should.
throw us your address. No pressure.
No pressure. Not a big deal.
But we're trying to have some fun despite this. And that's what the thing is, Adrian, like I wanted to jump on tonight too because
Mhm.
First game against the Bruins, our biggest arch rival in over 600 days, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So we had to jump on, win or lose. So that's why we're coming on tonight. But for those that are new to the show, first of all, welcome. We're going to keep this one a little shorter tonight. Normally we take callers for you guys to jump on the live stream with us and chat about the game. But tonight we're not going to do that. Just going to keep it a little bit shorter. So if this is your first time here, some of you may or may not know Dale Weiss is, of course, our lead co-host / owner of the brand. I don't know how else to put it, but Dale's on our show, obviously,
Founder, I
periodically.
guess.
Founder of
Yeah.
Habs Tonight, the Dutch Gretzky himself, which is a privilege
Yes.
for all fans involved, including us. So
yeah, this has been awesome, man. I'm telling you, the concept of this channel is like really cool with the call-in thing where it's very like fan friendly. So that's what I've always really liked about this channel. So yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
it's been cool, man. Like
It's
you've
been
been a
awesome.
big part of this journey from the beginning.
Thank you.
So people like you come on and just you have that infectious smile and that joy, and like that's what we need, especially now when the team is struggling. Because if you watch other shows, if you watch other channels, you're going to find a common theme with a lot of them. They're going to dump on the team, and we're not going to lie to people. Like they're not playing very well,
They're
like
not. No.
overall, right? But
Yeah.
we're gonna try to just have a good time covering this team despite these hard times that we're in. Because I mean, again, like we mentioned many times, we were spoiled going through the last cup run here, right? So
For
appreciate
sure.
the
Yeah.
Habsitivity that we try and bring, right?
Absolutely. And that like you said, Drew, that's a very good point, how a lot of other shows and channels will kind of have a little bit more of like, I guess, a negative like narrative or
Which I get it, but
approach.
like,
Yeah. I mean,
we
I
try to
could
have fun.
yeah, for sure. I was just trying to have fun and I don't see really a point in being so like harsh on. I mean, these guys are just human beings playing a game they love at the end of the day, right? They shouldn't have to you know like I mean it comes with it like to face the criticism and the adversity, but
Right.
some people are just I think a little over the top with it, so I
Yeah.
try to
I
be
mean,
as positive as I can, right? And I think
if you
all of
look
us
at
try.
Twitter before the
Oh.
show, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, it gets
Good point, Justin. We could
we
have
can
no
have no
hockey,
hockey,
right?
right?
So that's a good
That's true.
point. But
Yeah.
it's just one of those things, man. Like we made a decision when starting this show with Dale, because I mean,
Mhm.
Dale was on this team. Like he knows what it's like to go through really hard times.
Absolutely.
I mean, think about when Carey Price went down in 2015-16. The team just tanked basically right after that. And Dale was on that team. And then, of course, eventually went to Chicago. But you're
Yeah.
still showing up every day to the rink. You're still trying to win games. So I don't want to see them like, I know, and Dale mentioned it even as a fan too. Like, as a fan, if you want them to tank, they still might. But I
Mhm.
still want to see them win games. That's just
Yeah,
how I see it.
for sure. Like, I mean, I know like a lot as a fan, it's easy to say,
Good point too.
tank, yeah, being harsh as long as for yeah, that's true. It's constructive criticism. But yeah, like one thing I was like, fans say it's easy for fans to say, like tank, 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 but like, as a player, like being on the ice, you're not going to want to come to the rink every morning for practice and the morning skate and even on game day just to lose, right? So they have a
Yeah.
different, obviously, really different mentality than fans do. I've said this too on Twitter. So, regardless if they do tank for Shane Wright or they make the playoffs, I'm happy with either or. You know, I'm still going to support the team at the end of the day. I mean, I saw the cup run of a lifetime in the spring. This is a pretty awesome moment, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Joel made a
for
good
sure.
point there. Joel made a good point there a moment ago. I want to see the young players not be benched and every time they make mistakes. This is the season to do it. That's a really good point.
So true.
And you know, now here's transitioning back to what you were just saying. The draft is in Montreal this year. Now, we're
Mm,
not crazy to think at this point that the season doesn't look good, and we're still going to
yeah,
want to try to see them win games. Don't get me wrong,
of
but
course.
is this maybe a good setup? Maybe long term. I know we're looking forward quite a bit, but the draft is going to be in Montreal. There will be fans in attendance, scouts. All the people that are supposed to be there are going to be there. So if it just so happens that the season goes down and we have a top 10 pick, that could be a good story to look forward to at the end of the season. Then maybe you get Weber back next year. Pricey comes in, has a full
Hmm.
season again too.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know. I mean, like that's long term. But what do you think about the prospect of maybe? And we'll touch on this only just for a moment.
Yeah.
But about having maybe a good draft for the Canadians and actually having it be in Montreal.
Yeah, I think it is good. It's a good I guess what's the word I'm looking for? It's a good way, I guess, to start the off season with having the draft in Montreal. Obviously assuming they do get a top 10 pick, that's I guess a bonus too. It's going to be good for the team, it's good for the brand, right? Personally, I think if they do, end up getting a top 10 pick, I think again long term, like you said, it's going to be good. You can't go wrong with that. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Yeah.
That's what I don't want to look too far ahead for too long. Like, I
For
mean,
sure.
we're
No,
still
but
only like 15, 16 games in or whatever. So,
yeah.
Brendan Gallagher, I want to point this out, was really
Mhm.
extra pissed off at the end of the game tonight. He was
Ooh.
calling someone an effing coward. I couldn't
Ooh.
see who it was, but it was at the end of the game when Taylor Hall scored the empty net goal.
Ooh.
He was just screaming from the bench, and then he was talking to the ref. He's calling somebody a coward. So I don't know what happened, but Gally looked really, really pissed off. And if anyone's going to be mad at this point, it was him. I mean, he was just livid at the end of this game.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy like him too, like a lot I see his emotions come out too, especially, when they're losing like that. It's because, the amount of animosity that's built up when he's on the ice, right? And how he gets on people's grills. And but I love that about him though.
Yeah, of
He
course.
I love that about him. I think personally, if Weber doesn't come back, I think he's the best choice for captain at this point. I've said it before. Like, he just, again, like situations like that where he's like getting in the ref's face. He's chirping at the end of the bench, right? I always see him chirping at the end of the bench. I think he'd be the perfect captain. Just wears his heart on his sleeve. Obviously, he's put in his years of service with the team. Fan favorite, obviously. So I think he's a tremendous leader in so many ways. I think I think he'd be a great captain, and I just love. It's honestly been a privilege to watch him play for the last, I'd say, 9 years.
Yep.
And again, it's hard to find guys like him. Players like him don't grow on trees. A lot of,
Yep.
players, like fans, sorry, of other teams, like especially Leaf fans I've talked to, have said, "Oh, I take Gallagher on my team any day." I had a high school teacher that said that long ago, and again, it's hard to find guys like that, that just do what he does, and for what he like, the amount of abuse he takes every night. And I mean, I don't know many guys that would be able to handle that, right? But he just does it and never stops and just puts it 110%. So I hope he's a lifer in Montreal, to be completely honest with you. I think he just keeps the team really good together and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's a good. I'm slowly going into the Nick Suzuki camp for captain. I mean,
Ooh.
I'm really, I don't know, like the way he answered that. Like we talked about Petrie earlier and accountability. Well, Nick
Yes.
really takes accountability for his own play. So,
Mhm.
and so does Gally. Like let's be honest, so does Gally too. But
Mm.
I like the early signs of that from Nick Suzuki, and like it'd be nice to have a first line center be captain. Now, again, those two I think are the lead candidates at this point.
Absolutely.
I think some people might be shocked if it wasn't Gally that was made captain. And just nobody works harder than he does. Nobody
Mhm.
on that team. But either way, it'll be the right person. They never make a mistake in that regard, I don't think. And
For sure.
anyway, but gonna wrap it up shortly here. But I just want to say to the fans that are watching, thank you for sticking through this process. It was a tough game tonight, and
Mhm.
certainly, and again, another big reason why Gally was pissed off is because he loves playing in TD Garden, by the way.
Mhm.
Get your Habs Tonight merch on habstonight.net. We've been releasing some really great stuff. Obviously, our hats, but some Habsativity sweaters, hoodies, t-shirts. The toques are awesome. By the way, it snowed here in Niagara today for the first time. So you
Oh, yeah. We got
might
a
want to
little bit of snow
grab
here down
yourself
in Brampton there.
in
Yeah.
Brampton. Yep.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it
yeah.
found its way down in Niagara too.
Yeah.
And grab
Nice.
yourself a toque. But just check it out, guys. Subscribe to the channel here, of course. Follow us on social media. Adrian here has been really relaunching us on TikTok. So a lot of great content. So appreciate you doing that,
Thank you.
man.
Thanks so
And
much. Yeah.
it's been
It's
really
been
fun to see you do that stuff.
Thanks. I enjoy it. Like, I I just love doing it too. It's when Anik and Dale came to me and gave me the opportunity, I was again very, very honored. And I love doing it. I love making content, and especially with Habs channel. Habs are my favorite out of all the sports I watch. My Habs are my favorite team, so it's just icing on the cake.
I will
It doesn't
point
get
out,
any
though, I
better
have
than
to
that.
point this out because of your
Yeah.
flag in the back. Viva Italia. We did win the Euro Cup this year. Just
Yes,
saying.
that's right. Yes. That's right. Woo! So happy
So
about that still.
I thought tonight
Oh,
was going
yeah.
to be a great night, too, because my Packers won.
Oh, you're a Packers fan? Oh,
Rodgers came back.
no.
Yeah. Oh, no. Who's your team?
I'm a New England Patriots fan, but I'm not,
Respect. Hey,
I
respect, man.
respect I think Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal. I mean, he's gone through quite a bit with the controversy around the team and how his future's
I
kind of
know.
going, but,
I'm already sad about him leaving if he does. So I'm like,
hey,
ah.
yeah. How do you feel about Jordan Love, though?
I don't know. And I haven't seen, like, I'm not a die-hard football fan. I love
Mhm,
football,
mhm.
but I'm not as, clearly as big of a fan as a hockey fan. So I
No
don't know
problem.
enough
Yeah.
about Love's game to really
Uh-huh.
say enough about it. Like, I didn't even get a chance to watch the game last week, really.
Oh,
So,
true.
like, just to be brutally honest, I haven't seen enough of him. There's some hype
Mhm.
about him, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers he's a Hall of Famer to me. Like, I mean, following in the shoes of Brett Favre, not an easy thing to do. And
Yeah.
then I think he surpassed Brett Favre's play, and the numbers show it. in terms of passer rating and all that stuff. But
absolutely.
Anyways, back to the Habs for a second.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go off topic there, Drew.
No, that was my fault. I took it. I took it that direction.
So. No, that's okay.
But no, you killed it, man, here for your first post game. So thank you. I mean, you had experience. Like, it's not like you didn't jump on this before, but
that's true.
Certainly appreciate that. So
thanks so much. Love to do it again if the opportunity comes. So
it will. It will for sure. So all right, folks. Well, Montreal Canadiens are back at it against the Rangers on Tuesday night. We're not we don't always release our schedule for pregame, postgame all the time, but we will be doing a roundtable tomorrow. So there will be a roundtable discussing just the Montreal Canadiens in general, where the season's going, where it's gone already. Cole Caulfield scoring his first goal yesterday too from a crazy angle, and he deserved to score a goal like that from a crazy angle after all the heat he was taken from the fans from that one AHL franchise. They're idiots anyway. Or this actually wasn't even the fans, it was the social media team. So anyway, they got called out for it. So
they deleted the tweet right away.
Of course they did. They're cowards. Anyway.
Clowns.
So cheers. Thanks. There you go. Great feedback.
Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it.
So thanks for watching, folks. Again, as we mentioned earlier, subscribe. Be part of the Habs Tonight community. We're always trying to be positive and enjoy our time despite the Habs struggles. So thank you guys for watching. Follow us on socials, subscribe, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. We'll be posting a video tomorrow. I think it's going to be producer James and Nick and myself doing a roundtable talking about the Habs and other things. So join us then. And again, Adrian, thank you for jumping on tonight.
Oh, thanks again for having me. This has been awesome. I enjoy it. Definitely want to come back again if the opportunity comes, for sure.
You can count on that, my friend.
Awesome.
All right, folks. Have a good night, and we'll see you again soon.
Good night, guys. Good night.